everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we're looking at an oldie but a goodie. This is Space Alert from Czech Edition Games. And this is one that our Patreon supporters voted for me to cover, and it's an old favorite of mine. It's probably one of the older games I own since I call so actively. Space Alert is a fully cooperative game for 1 to 5 players with a real-time aspect. Basically, you're running around this spaceship you're controlling while crazy threats appear. Each player plans out their actions by basically programming some cards for their character, moving them around the ship, shooting lasers and that kind of thing. And then after everyone's gone through the real-time phase and planned out their actions, you then kind of play everything back and see if you actually survived or not. I'm going to explain the basics of the game, then do a full solo playthrough. And I was racking my brain on how to do this one because there is a lot of real estate to cover. You have both the main board here plus 4 player boards. And I had, quite honestly, no idea how I was going to explain my actions or the enemies that popped up. So in typical Mike fashion, I made a little variant. I'm not saying this is a variant that should actually be used in play, it's just something I kind of threw together. But the basic idea is I'm not going to play in real time. I'll have as much time to make my decisions as I want, but I'll only check to see if enemies show up in given rounds because the game plays out over 12 rounds. Once I've programmed my character's actions 2 rounds before that. So like I can see enemies appearing in round 1 and 2 right at the beginning. Once all my characters have done round 1, I can see round 3. Once I've done round 2, I can see round 4. Hopefully that's going to kind of model the lack of clarity that can come with not knowing what actions the enemies will take. And then additionally, I'm using entirely yellow threat cards, which are the very difficult cards. Originally the toughest cards in the game, although with the expansion, they added in red threats. So I think the combination of the variant and the tougher enemies will make it tough for me to survive, but hopefully it will at least show off the game in some way. And if you like the content here on the One Stop Co-op Shop, please consider subscribing. You can also check out our streaming channel for even more content. Listen to our podcast every week, join our Discord for great conversations, and support us on Patreon, and then you too can pick which games I'm going to unearth and try out. So as I mentioned, Space Alert is basically a real-time programming game. You've got these double-sided cards, well not really double-sided, they have a back, but they have a top action that is one of 3 letters, A, B, or C, or a robot action. Let's see if I can find one of those to show them. They do exist. I promise. There we go, robots. But then if you flip the cards, you get a movement action. It's either red, blue, or an up-down arrow. And basically, you're just planning these out. You can leave some spaces blank. Like here, I would push an A button, then move to the right in the blue direction, ride an elevator, and then push a C button on turn 4. So each character can do 1 action on each kind of time unit of the round. And you can leave spaces open, like maybe I want to wait until somebody shows up to push that C button. And there are other complications, like some actions can delay your actions, so like your actions will slide down 1 and all your stuff will be off time. Now hopefully that won't happen since I'm not in a timed, stressful situation here, but anything's possible. And by the way, a key thing in co-op is that each player has a certain number of cards, and they might not be exactly what they need. So the CD or app or computer program you use because you need something to kind of read out what the enemies are doing will often have you draw cards or give players a chance to trade cards, but you'll often have to work with kind of imperfect cards in your hand. But in true solo, you have the entire deck to use as you like. So it really is more of a timed puzzle instead of kind of having that chaotic limitation of the cards themselves. And one other thing you might have noticed, I have 4 robots I'm controlling, and each one has a unique card. This is a heroic action that lets them do something really cool. The B and A and robot actions, you'll see what they mean, but I've got a bit of everything right now. But what you really need to know to understand the game is what each of the action spaces do, so let's go over that. So first, all of the letter A buttons are attacks. You've got these 3 heavy cannons on the top floor of the ship in the 3 different stations of colors. There's 6 stations overall. The upper and lower decks, red, white, and blue for each. And then on the lower decks, you've got these reusable cannons that are weaker than the heavy cannons, and this pulse cannon that shoots in a bunch of directions. And the key thing to look at here are these little things here. They show how far the cannons can shoot, which corresponds to these little things the enemies use to move down. Basically, enemies will pop up on the shield space, and based on their speed statistic, they'll move down a certain number of spaces each turn. Every time they reach a letter, they'll do some unique action based on what enemy they are. If they get to Z, they go away, but usually do something really devastating. And this corresponds to the cannon fire. You'll see that these are kind of broken up into 3 brackets, 3 sections. And pretty much every cannon can shoot at all of those. You'll see it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The only one that can't is the pulse cannon, and it can only shoot at range 1 and 2. So an enemy on this furthest out bracket here would not be vulnerable to that. And then the number is how much damage is dealt. So 2 for these light cannons, 4 or 5 for the central heavy cannon, and then this one just says 1 to each enemy. And a key thing with cannons and a lot of other stuff in the game is the concept of energy, these green cubes. Because every time you fire one of these upper deck heavy cannons or the pulse cannon, you have to spend 1 energy cube from the appropriate energy supply. There's 3 in the lower decks. So you can kind of follow the wires. To shoot this heavy cannon, you got to spend an energy from here. To shoot either the pulse cannon or the really heavy cannon, you got to use it from the central supply. And then this one's going to come from the right. But the really cool thing about the lighter cannons is that they have their own personal power supply, so you can shoot these every dang turn without ever running out. Now, speaking of energy, that's what all the B actions focus on. So first you've got these 3 green fuel rods in the central lower deck space. A B action here will burn a fuel rod, and that is the only way to inject more energy into the system overall. Because what you do is you add enough energy to bring this central one to its max, which is 5 cubes in there. So like if I did it right now, when I have 3, I would add 2 more. Every other B action just moves energy around. So for both of these ones, you're going to pull energy from the central supply to, again, try to get this as close to full as you can. It's got 1 cube right now. If I did a B action down here, I would pull 2 to make this go up to its max of 3. But then, whoops, that leaves the central supply very low indeed. That would be a good time to burn a fuel rod to add 4 more cubes in here. Now, as for the Bs above, they correspond to 3 shields, which will block enemies attacking from those areas. Each cube will generally stop 1 point of damage. They also have their capacity of how many cubes they can hold, and it works just like these 2 actions down here. They pull the cubes trying to get their max. So if I did a B here, I'd pull 1 up from there to go to 2 shields. If I did a B action up here, I'd pull 2 energy up here to bring it to the max of 3. And to say it just one more time, the only way to actually add more cubes as they get used for shots or shields or those kind of things is to burn a fuel rod here. And then finally, the C actions are kind of a grab bag. A very important one is for the main computer in the central upper deck. The rounds in the game are kind of broken into groups. You've got rounds 1, 2, and 3, rounds 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And for each of them, you'll see this little computer space after the second round in that group. So like 1, 2 computer, 4, 5 computer, 8, 9 computer. And doing the C action with that central computer is basically you jiggling the mouse so that the screensaver doesn't come on and mess up the entire ship. You put the cube here to mark that you've done it before these actions are done. And if you've done it, then it's totally fine. But if not, then everyone's actions slide down in round 3 on, or here in round 6 on, or here in round 10 on. Totally destroys all of your timing, so you want to make sure you do that. As for the C's in these 2 stations, that'll get you a battle bot that will follow your crew member around, and that is the only way to destroy a lot of the nasty internal threats, because, yes, not only are enemies attacking you from space, but they will jump right inside your ship. A C right here fires a missile. It does not do anything the first time you fire it, but then the next turn during the attack phase, kind of like the pulse cannons, it's going to hit only the first 2 bars of range. It'll hit the closest enemy within there, but it does 3 damage, so a great way to kind of combo with some laser blaster attacks to really take people down. This C, I doubt we're going to worry about much. It's a porthole to look out of to earn extra points. I'm pretty sure we'll be a little too stressed out to do that. But then the final option, if someone has BattleBots and they do a C up here, they can take the BattleBots out in interceptors, which lets them attack people really close to the ship at range 1 for 3 damage if only 1 person is there, or if more than 1 person is there, then they'll do 1 damage to each of them. And we're talking a lot about enemies. Let's just show you what they look like. So first of all, you can have regular threats, which have an X, or serious threats, which have an exclamation point. They're going to have a speed value, as I already mentioned, which is how quickly they move down the track and attack. Let's say this guy warped in on round 1. At the end of round 1, he would move 3 for his speed stats. We'd go 1, 2, 3. At the end of round 2, he'd move another 3, 1, 2, 3, because he crossed an X. He would activate his X action. In this case, he boosts the shields of other enemies. And like I said, nastier and nastier stuff generally happens as they go down. And the biggest thing to look at for the enemies is how to kill them. They've each got a basic health statistic, but they also have shields, basically armor that'll stop some of your damage. And the armor value only subtracts from the total attack in a round. So like, let's say this guy was coming this way. If I just shot with the heavy cannon, I would only do 3 damage because 4 minus 1 is 3. But let's say I comboed with the heavy and the lighter cannon. That would be 6 damage minus 1, so 5 damage would get through. The shield would only apply once. And hey, if I did something like shot a missile and timed it to all hit at the same time, that'd be 3, 5, 9. -1 is 8. We would more than blow up the guy in a single round of attacking. And there are internal threats too, like I mentioned. They have basically the same stats, except they will pop up at a specific station of the ship, and they'll often like move around in the ship and hit your guys and do all kinds of terrible stuff. And some of them need battle bots to attack, and other ones can be like fixed with energy actions and things if like it's actually your ship being damaged. And speaking of damage, how do you lose? Well, if you can survive 13 rounds, now you have 12 rounds of action, but then you get one more round of the enemies just destroying you, then your ship warps out and you win. Now, as for losing, you've got 6 damage tokens for each of the colors, whether the damage happens on the upper or lower deck. You flip them as you take the damage, and they will generally degrade your systems in some way. So now this shield can only hold 1, or now this cannon only does 1 damage instead of 2. And remember that you program all of your crew's actions, and then you rewind time back and play out what actually happened from round 1 on. So if you know an enemy's going to get through and hit you, you won't know what kind of damage they're actually going to deal until it happens, which again might mess up your plans for a little bit of chaos. But yeah, if you run out of these for a given station and then you have to take 1 more damage, the 7th damage, that is the way you lose. Alright, so let's get into it and try to win Space Alert. Alright, I just checked. Remember, I'm letting myself see 2 rounds in the future. And on round 2, I'm going to get an internal threat, which in this case is a virus. It's going to be affecting my central computer. It's moving at speed 3, has 3 life. And in this case, I have to attack it with the C action. So instead of jiggling the mouse, I'm trying to clear the virus from our system. And if I don't get to it, it's going to steal our energy, make us all delayed, which would move all of our actions back 1, and then eventually deal 1 damage to every zone. And by the way, while a station is malfunctioning, you can't do the indicated action there, so I couldn't jiggle the mouse while this is there. And if the Z action happens, then that's permanent, so you literally cannot do the C action there for the rest of the game. So now I have to plan my round 1 action for each of the crew before I see what's coming potentially in round 3. And just to remind you again, this is a variant I just threw together. In the actual game, you can kind of wait and like see what's coming and plan a bunch of actions in a row, so you don't really have to lock things in as early as I'm having to. But here I think it makes sense to leave at least 2 people, if not 3, in this central area for the first round, so that on round 2, they can all gang up on that virus and just get rid of it in one go. Now to show who's got which heroic actions, the green robot has a powered up A, which will do +1 damage if they attack with it. The yellow robot has a powered up battle bot, great for tough internal threats. And then red and blue have powered up Bs, which will get us extra energy, basically for free, 1 extra cube, either in one of the reactors or in the shields. And alternatively, a heroic action can be used to teleport, basically run super fast, straight to the indicated station on the ship if you flip it up. So to that end, I think I'm going to have yellow run to the blue sector. That way they'll be able to grab the battle bots and be set up to use their power, maybe even get in the interceptors if no internal threats show up. I'll go ahead and have, I don't know, green do the C. That'll jiggle the mouse to make sure we don't lose a turn. And I think 2 of the guys should be sufficient to take out the virus. So let's actually have red run down since he's good with Bs, and maybe he can get some more energy for us. So that's an up-down movement, and these are just like kind of waiting until we want to use them. So I'm going to have B do nothing for round 1. Let me go and run and check if anybody's showing up in round 3 now that we've locked that in. And by the way, I can move the people around to show what I think they're doing, but don't forget, nothing actually matters except for the cards that were programmed, so when we reset, we'll see if the things actually happened as planned. A big mistake that early players can make is that 2 players can't use an elevator in the same round, the same elevator, I should say. So if you both try to, one of you is going to be delayed and have to push all your actions back 1 round. Alright, I just checked. We've got a threat coming in zone blue in round 3. And these are randomly assigned at the beginning of the game. You'll see that zone white has a very, very long track, so they get more chances to attack, but it also takes them longer to do anything. Whereas zone blue is one of the shortest tracks in the game, so they're going to attack us very quickly. And oh lord, there's a Mega Shield Destroyer. This is an enemy from the expansion. I'm throwing some of them in. So he's pretty slow. He doesn't attack too hard, although you'll see the asterisk says that you double damage that gets through shields. So if I don't block like that 1 damage, it does 2 to my actual ship. But the big thing is they've got a ton of shields, but look, every time that we attack them, -1 shield point after they absorb damage. So if I just keep on like shooting little shots at them, even if it doesn't get through their shields, it'll slowly degrade this until they're easier to kill. And he put the little 3 on here to show which round it's coming in. That's the first round we can shoot at it. So hey, I guess that works for me. I can have red run over, yellow can still get the battle bots on round 2, and then on round 3 we can either both start shooting it, or if that doesn't seem smart, maybe just red can shoot it with the little cannons to not waste energy. Meanwhile, blue and green are going to attack the virus. They should do 2 damage if they both play a C, and then on the following round, one of them can finish it off. All right, here's what I think that looks like. Yeah, they're both attacking the virus. He's moving to shoot the cannon. He's getting the battle bots. Okay. All right, and they are not letting up. We have another internal threat in round 4. These are troopers. They're going to start in the red deck. When they get an X action, they're going to move down. When they get a Y action, they're going to move right. And there's actually 2 of those, so at the very end, they're going to end up over here, it looks like. And if we haven't killed them, they'll do 4 damage where they are, I guess blowing up some bombs. Now, note that they have 2 life, but this is a very important icon. It shows battle bots. You need to use a battle bot action to attack them, and you need to have battle bots, so like only yellow will be able to do that. But the low explosion here means that your battle bots are damaged, which means before you can attack with them again, you have to go to either of the BattleBot stations, down here, up here, and do another C action to stand your BattleBots back up. But that's where Yellow's heroic action is amazing. You'll see it lets you do a BattleBot attack without having them be knocked out, which means the first hit would be kind of like a free hit, and then if we hit them again, yes, my BattleBots would be knocked down, but they would be dead. Alright, so they'll be over here, but Yellow needs to shoot at the Mega Shield Destroyer, so he's not going to be able to do anything for a minute. Let's see. The virus only needs blue or green to attack it in round 3 to finish it off. So maybe the other one can start heading down here-ish to grab the other BattleBots. Because the troopers are going to start up here, but once they hit an X, they're going to change decks down here. They'd be right where he could shoot them. An important skill in the game is to be able to figure out when people will be where. So if the troopers are popping in on round 4... that means they'll be here on round 5, they'll be here on round 6. They will have changed decks on round 7. So I have no idea at this point if whether it's feasible for one of my guys to get down and get their robots by round 7. Seems like it could happen. We'll think about it. Alright, so green's first. We want him jiggling that mouse. So we'll go ahead and have him destroy the virus and stay there. Blue can be our friend who runs into red and then is going to go down and get the BattleBots. Let's see, what do we want to do with the Mega Shield Destroyer? Red got over here. He's got the BattleBots. Blue's going to be over there. I think the best possible line of attack is just red to shoot this turn. That'll take away 1 shield, so he'll be at 3 life and 3 shields. And then if on round 4 both yellow and red shoot, that would be 4 and 2, 6 together, with which the decreased shields would be exactly enough to kill him in 1 shot. So yeah, we'll make that happen. Yellow's going to hang out with his robots, red will shoot once, and then they'll both shoot in round 4 in a second. So that's what it looks like so far. Looking good. Alright, and I just looked and nothing new is showing up in round 5, so let's keep enacting our plan. So remember, blue's going to go down, planning to get the BattleBots. Both of them will shoot, and now that we're in round 4, we're in our second round of needing to jiggle the mouse, so green can just do 4 consecutive C actions, which in the real game would be very difficult to pull off to get that many C cards in your hand. So that's what I think I have here, jiggling the mouse, double shot, moving down to blue to get BattleBots. Which would mean 1 energy will have been spent on the cannon. He's down here. I guess 2 of these are gone, we think. And I guess it's to track them. These guys would be in here for now. Okay, but our reprieve after round 5 is over. Round 6, we have a serious threat showing up in zone white. Let's see what it is. Juggernaut. That seems bad. Seems really, really bad. Because it's only got 1 speed, but the plus usually means that stat will change. Alright, rockets always target the Juggernaut, ignoring everything else, even at distance 3, which means they can hit it further away than normal. Oh, and it gains a shield point each time it's hit by a rocket. Interesting. And oh my gosh, when it hits X, it's going to get +2 speed and attack for 2. When it hits Y, +2 more speed, attack for 3. When it hits Z, attack for 7. I mean, that's clearly just death if that happens. Now, the nice thing is it's not coming in until round 6, and white is the longest track. So we have quite a few turns before it even accelerates and hits us, although this would get through our shields for 1. Now, if we combine rockets and the heavy cannons, how many shots would it take? So let's see, 3 plus 5 is 8. So after 1 shot like that, it would be down to 5 life, but its shields would go up to 4. So with that 4 shields, if we hit it again the turn after with a rocket and a cannon, that would be 8 damage again. But minus 4, only 4 would get through, we'd have 1 life left. Oh man, we would have to hit it 3 times? Oh, no, that's right. Green, if he's the one firing the cannon, has a +1 heroic attack. That means 6 damage would get through the first time, and only 4 would be needed to finish it off. So if we do a double rocket, double heavy cannon attack, right when this guy pops up, he will be smashed very quickly. But it's not until round 6, so we can hold off on worrying about that for now. So let's see, at this point, the virus should be dead. The Mega Shield Destroyer should have been killed by their double attack. So all we've got are the troopers and the Juggernaut coming to worry about. Which means yellow can start moving over with his BattleBots, blue can get those BattleBots. I guess red's going to stay here to shoot the rockets to help green in a second. In fact, if the Juggernaut's showing up on round 6, we need to shoot it on round 5, because remember, there's a 1-turn delay. And then shoot them again on round 6 to hit him on round 7, and then have him attack on 6 and 7. 1-turn delay. I think it'll all make sense. So yeah, C's gonna shoot a rocket. Green ain't gonna do a dang thing, he's just waiting for his shot on round 6. Yellow's gonna run down to the lower deck, since that's where those troopers will be hanging out. And Blue's gonna get the BattleBots. And lordy, the game is not done. I think we have one more serious threat, because I think it usually adds up to 7 or 8, spawning on round 7 in Zone Blue, the same place where we destroyed the Mega Shield Destroyer earlier. Oh my gosh, what is this, a behemoth? Interceptor strength is 9, not 3 against it, but that player is knocked out. That means they can't do anything for the rest of the mission, they basically sacrifice themselves, but man, 9 damage would leave it with only 2 life left, so if prior to that we'd gotten off a double cannon shot to get 2 damage in, that would be enough. Although, heck, maybe instead we could fire our 3rd rocket and get both of these shooting. That would be 9 damage. That would leave him with 2 life. And then another double shot here, although we wouldn't have enough power to do that. And I gotta remember that Yellow's down here and Red already shot a rocket. Dang it. Maybe Blue has to handle the troopers by himself and Yellow runs back up to start manning that cannon. I think if Blue shoots them with the BattleBots right when they show up, then uses a C to repair them, then moves over to chase them, and then shoots them again, he might be able to chase them down. So yeah, it looks like the Fog of War might mean that Yellow needs to run back up, but I think it's the best we can do. Because Green's got to be trapped here for a few rounds shooting at the Juggernaut that popped up. By the way, speaking of Blue, are the troopers in his station yet? They're here round 4, round 5, round 6. Okay, no, they're going to be in a station round 7. So he shoots them round 7, and then they move down here, which means they're over there. He repairs his BattleBots, they move there. He chases after them, they move there. And he's 1 step behind, and they blow up the ship. Dang it! Oh, wait, maybe I have Red go up, Yellow stays down where he is, he shoots the rockets, and then when the guys run in, he's ready, hopefully he can take a break from shooting the Behemoth, to blast them to bits, and Blue can repair his BattleBots, run up here, and shoot the Behemoth with his interceptors, yes! Alright, but now I gotta figure out what all that actually means. Okay, so Green's doing his super shot, because it's gonna coincide with the rocket. And speaking of the rocket, Yellow's gonna shoot the second one, because of the switch we talked about. And Red's going to head up to the heavy cannon. And Blue, sadly, is going to do nothing because he's waiting for the troopers to show up to shoot with BattleBots here, then repair, and then run up to the interceptors and get blasted. And okay, yes, I was correct. Those are all the threats for the round. Maybe I should have amped it up for this sort of untimed variant. But let's go ahead and plan out the rest of our actions and see if we can kill everybody. Alright, so Green's got to do a second shot to finish off the Juggernaut. He's already got the missile, so they should be fine. Blue's going to shoot the troopers. Those will break his BattleBots. Then he's got to repair those BattleBots. Let's see. I guess Red and Yellow are going to do a double shot to get the Behemoth to be a little bit hurt. Because, look, his track only has an X and a Z. And the X says, unless it has at least 2 damage, attack 2. So if we hit it with the heavy and light cannon, we'll just get 2 damage through. And it won't even hurt us when it gets to the X. Only the Z will be a problem. Okay, and let's see. Round 10 is when the troopers will be in Yellow space. He'll kill them. Green needs to do a final C for the 3rd set of actions to jiggle the mouse. We are going to have an energy problem, crud. But I think we've got a while before the Behemoth hits us. Oh, wait, that's right. Blue can just kill them all by himself, can't he? So yeah, Blue will head up there for 9. And I believe the Behemoth will be in range of interceptors on round 10, just in case. Let's put round 11 too. So actually, I think with all of that, we will have destroyed everybody. Is that right? Well, just in case, just to be safe, we can have Green move over after jiggling the mouse, and have Red move down out of his way. Then Red can use his super energy to get some more cannon energy, because there won't be any cannons left in the blue space for Green to shoot with. Then Green can shoot an A. Oh, and I guess Yellow's here. He can shoot our last missile. And sure, Red can fire the little cannons there. So that should actually kill the Behemoth the same turn that we fire the interceptors. Just, a little redundancy. Nothing wrong with that. And I think we'll be good. Let's actually see how it plays out. Alright, so I'm not going to show you the cards, but I'll just kind of talk through things. So, round 1, Green jiggles the mouse. Yellow goes blue, Red goes down. Blue hangs out. Round 2, a despicable virus shows up. And here we can kind of put this over here to show its progress. Green does C and damages it. Yellow does C and gets some robots to help him. Red runs blue. Blue also attacks the virus. And then it moves down 1, 2, 3, so no actions yet. Okay, round 3, our friend the Mega Shield Destroyer pops up. Green does one final C action. We have defeated the virus. Get out of here. Yellow just hangs out with the robots. Red does a non-powered light cannon shot against the Mega Shield Destroyer. And blue goes left. Oh, these guys aren't here yet. Blue goes left. And the 2 damage shot does not get through the shields, but it does knock the shields down to 3 for next turn. And then our friend here moves 2, doesn't quite shoot us. All right, now round 4, this track is back, because the troopers are here hanging out. We're in the second set of action, so green's jiggling the mouse. Good job, buddy. Yellow's using 1 power to shoot the heavy cannons. Red's firing the reusable cannons as well. And blue's running down toward those battle bots. So we've got 4 plus 2, 6 damage, 3 shield stops, 3 of it, the other 3, boom! But the troopers move down 2. Okay, round 5, green does nothing. Yellow brings his robots down here. Blue gets his own robot friends. And red shoots a missile off at somebody. And the troopers move down again. Round 6, the Juggernaut is here. And, too many tracks. Here, we'll just kind of fit him in over here. Hello. And I just realized this red track never had anybody attack there, so might as well just cover it up. Okay, so A is doing a super-powered shot, so it'll be 6 damage instead of 5. Yellow's shooting another missile. This one's actually going to hit this turn. Remember, it always goes to the Juggernaut, even though he would be out of range because of his specific power. Red is heading up, and blue ain't doing a thing. So the attacks, 3 plus 6 from the +1 boost. That is 9 minus 3, 6 damage here. Giant red cube for 5. But we'll give this guy a white cube next to his shields to show that he now has 4 shields instead of 3. All right, the troopers go 2, so they change decks. Hello. The Juggernaut's just a single 1. Round 7, we have an abundance of tracks to keep. There's the Behemoth showing up. Green's going to shoot another powered cannon. Yellow's going to shoot his little cannon, the Behemoth, I guess. Oh, yeah, okay, because red is using the last energy to also shoot. And blue's doing a BattleBot action, so this guy only has 1 life left, but they are broken for the moment. And shoo! 3 damage, plus 5 is 8, minus 4, his boosted shield is 4. Good night, sir. And then over here, 4 plus 2 is 6, so 2 damage does get through. But as I thought, there is no more energy left for another shot. Okay, and the troopers move 2, so they are running away from those BattleBots. And the Behemoth also moves 2, doesn't do anything yet. Okay, getting into round 8, a final mouse jiggle. Red's going down, is that right? Well, I'm sure I had a reason. Yellow does nothing. And blue's doing a C action to fix his BattleBots. Oh, that's right, that rocket already shot. Okay, the troopers go 2, so they haven't moved yet. But it says unless it has at least 2 damage, it attacks for 2. It does have 2 damage, so nothing. Round 9, green's finally leaving the central place. The computer is good to go. Yellow is shooting a rocket, okay. Blue's doing a heroic energy action, so he pulls the one that's available and creates a second one through sheer force of awesomeness. And blue takes his BattleBots up toward those interceptors. Yeah, this looks like it's working out perfectly. The troopers move over 1. Oh my gosh, robots waiting for them? And the Behemoth is in range of the interceptors. And yeah, here's where everything goes crazy. Green fires a shot with the big cannon. Yellow does a super attack with the BattleBots, so the troopers are gone and they don't even break the robots. Red's also doing a shot. And blue is flying his BattleBot Interceptor Squadron at the Behemoth. And the rocket comes roaring over. So Jesus, how much damage is this? 3 plus 9 because of his special power for interceptors. Plus 2, plus 4, oh, math, 6, 9, 18 damage. 18 damage. Now, blue sacrificed himself for nothing because now he's knocked out. But yeah, the Behemoth is certainly bye-bye. And here, just to show kind of the overview in action, and we never used the heroic action for blue, but he didn't need it. So that was Space Alert, again with a little bit of a solo variant. But hopefully you can kind of imagine me doing everything I just did, but with crazy time pressure and things popping up unexpectedly as I played. And hey, our patrons wanted me to do a review too, so click on that link if you want to check my thoughts on this game that I've been playing for forever and see how they've evolved over time. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.